What's up, everybody? Jacob here with All Drive No Drop. I'm here today talking with Allen Trieu about the Beer City Pickleball Tournament. If you don't know what Beer City Pickleball is, it is a tournament that is put on in Grand Rapids every year. They have a ton of beer carts, and we're going to get a lot more details here with Allen. Basically, Allen is one of the main people doing stuff behind the scenes, making everything run, maybe some commentating too, and he works with Andrea Coop, who is, the founder of the tournament with a few other people we'll talk about in the podcast, but she's the most well-known since she's a touring pro still. So we'll get into that. And the signups are coming up April 10th, so we wanted to get this out here so you can learn a little bit more about Beer City, some history behind it, and everything that's going on. I plan on being there. David from Tickle My Pickleball plans on being there. So if you see us at the venue, see us playing, come cheer us on, come say what's up. Always happy to talk to anyone there. So let's get into it. Let's get into the interview about Beer City, one of the best pickleball tournaments around. So I've heard. I have to experience it for myself. But let's go. We'll talk to Allen Trieu. All right, here we are in the interview section talking about Beer City. I'm joined by Allen Trieu. He knows everything there is to know about Beer City. And if you've seen the All-In Pickleball Gym live stream, you might have heard his voice or seen him on there. I just realized when we met on here that I've actually been watching him a few Thursdays out of the week. So, Allen, how are you doing today? Thank you for joining us.
I'm good. We just had a TPN last night, so I got done broadcasting that. Okay. And happy to join you. We've got one more finals.
I missed it last night. It's like sometimes I just get so busy, I forget it's on. But the good thing is you can always go back and watch it anytime. So, was it an action-packed night last night?
Actually, it was really good last night. The final was really good. Went 3, a lot of back and forth. We had some 13-11s in there, so pretty entertaining.
Nice, awesome. So, what exactly is your role with Beer City? What are you doing? And let's get into your role, and then we'll talk about what is Beer City.
Yeah, so I do a lot of things. I would say a lot of various tasks. The main thing the last few years is I've been the on-court MC and DJ part-time, doing that with sharing that role with a couple of local players. I do stand-up comedy, and so me and another pickleballer who does stand-up, Matt Loria, we've shared some of the court MCing duties during BCO. But that actually started because several BCOs ago, Andrea Coop, who is the founder, runs the tournament, she had asked us to roast the pros before the pro bracket. So that's how that started. Since then I've started helping with some of the other logistical things in the tournament. But I would say most of my role is as a court MC and pretend DJ during the pro matches.
Okay. I've always wanted to commentate. I used to commentate for League of Legends. I don't know if you are familiar with that. Well, that was way back in the day. I was doing that. I would love to jump on the stream and commentate, but I also know that the commentators take so much heat when they mess anything up. They take a lot of heat, so I'd be really nervous to even go on there and start commentating because I know I'd say something stupid.
I've done some I day job do football stuff with Big Ten Network and CBS, and so I'm pretty used to that. Football fans are even harder to deal with than wild pickleball folks. So pickleball feels like a little bit of a break. But so whenever people complain about pickleball commentating, especially pros, like when anybody gives Dave a hard time, or Michelle McMahon, and I'm like, listen, they're doing a great job. I did last year get to do a little bit of the MLP stream when they were at BCO also, so that was pretty cool.
Okay, awesome. So Beer City, it started basically with Andrea Coop. I know there's another founder, but in 2018,
Paul Richards,
Paul Richards. And it was was it a pretty small event? Were you with them at the start, or did you come on at what year did you come on the team?
So I was probably just starting to play pickleball at that time. That may have even been my first tournament. I think I played 3-0 maybe in the 2018 or 2019, somewhere in there. I was playing 3-0 and didn't know much about it. Didn't know who any of the pro players were. I just know it was cool to watch them. But the tournament has grown tremendously since then. I mean, I think that first year, Ben Johns was there, but not a single person who was playing in the amateur divisions probably knew who he was. Now everyone here is super excited about the talent coming to MLP and the players that have been here. So it's grown huge since then. It's always been a volunteer-led event, which is really cool. We have a really great club, the Grand Rapids Pickleball Club, that is entirely volunteer based. And so it's kind of like our Super Bowl of celebrating pickleball in Grand Rapids. And so, but definitely Andrea and Paul have done a great job of growing that to now where we never would have imagined in those early days that there would be a grandstand court and a championship court, that it would be streamed on ESPN Plus 2 years ago, and that we would have MLP that be one of the stops. So it's grown huge.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. MLP was like one of my favorite ways to watch the pros, and I am a little skeptical with the way things are going with how the teams, kind of like some of the owners, are just selling players off. But I'm hoping there's a good product for us this year at Beer City, and we get some good matches. And I guess we don't even know what teams are set yet, but I guess we'll see that closer till that actually happens. And I know throughout the years, I think it's hosted APPs before, right? Beer City's hosted APPs, PPAs, and now, it's hosting the MLP. Do you see, like, going forward, there's going to be like kind of a struggle? Because like right now it's kind of like Michigan's premier amateur tournament. Do you think it can continue to be Michigan's premier amateur tournament and continue to support the pro tournaments, especially if the pro scene gets bigger, you start getting more money into it? Like, are those really going to be able to coexist?
I hope so, and I think so. I mean, I think last year was a show that it can be done, and the atmosphere was incredible. The stands were packed. I mean, really, if there was an issue, it's that we need more stands. Mm-hmm. Last year was the first year of the owner's deck, so we were able to build a huge overlook that the owners of the MLP teams were able to be up there. The players were up there afterwards. I remember Hayden Patrickland last year sitting up there and kind of making comments down at some of the matches that were going on. And so that every year it seems to get a little bit bigger. So like I said, a couple of years ago, it was just everybody standing around the outside of the court, added stands, added another set of stands, added an owner's deck. So I think with the way that it's going, with Andrea's involvement and Paul's experience in running tournaments and doing some of the things that he's done, I don't see any reason it can't continue to coexist. I think it coexisting, the amateur side and the pro side coexisting, is one of the really cool things about it.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of, not, I wouldn't say backlash, but just some chatter, because I think this is the first year you're starting to charge fans to come view people, right? So obviously other PPA events have been doing this, and it's just kind of the natural progression. Like, you're going to see sports start to charge money as things get more expensive, players get more expensive to pay. I think it was only like, was it $15 a day for a pass? And I imagine most people aren't going to be watching like every day. It doesn't seem anything crazy to me. It seems like a fair fee. But was this like a hard decision for the team to start charging, or were costs just starting to get so high? You're like, well, we got to start. Well, it's probably the attendance too is getting too high.
Yeah,
so there's another
that's a
thing
part
to
of it.
Control
and
the size.
I think the MLP has certain stipulations as well, and so I think between all of that, it's been trending this way. I think anybody who had attended the tournaments the last couple of years, even as a fan, was seeing that eventually I'm probably going to have to pay for this. And I would say that having been there and seen the atmosphere, and what makes it cool is it's BCO, so people are walking around with Bloody Marys and fat tires and other things.
Yeah, I got to ask you about all the beer and different alcohol carts set up like that. That's probably another major draw too, I'm sure.
It is, and it makes the atmosphere so fun that I think in the last few years, whenever I'm watching it and I'm seeing people out there, I'm going like, I would pay for this, especially $15. It's like I pay that to go see a minor league. I pay more than that to go see a minor league baseball game or a hockey game, and I think I get more entertainment out of my BCO experience than I do those.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up all the beer carts and stuff, because like here in Royal Oak, we have festivals and stuff, and you have to pay like $10-15 just to get in the festival. And it's mostly like you're going into this festival and you're buying like food and drink, and there's maybe like some live music or something. But like here, you're going to pay $15 for professional sports, and you got access to all these cool beer carts and food trucks. So, I mean, it seems like actually you're getting a pretty good deal, I think, compared to most things. Like, a ticket to go to the Lions, we're talking like $300-400. I mean, obviously not the same thing, but $15 is, I can't see it being a huge barrier to entry. So
I get that we're going from free to a charge, so that's the hurdle that you get over. But when you do compare it to other events, and you think about what's coming to us now, the amount of the players that will be here, the players that were here last year. I mean, the courts that we're playing on every week, Anna Lee Waters is on, Ben Johns is on, etc. To pay $15 to see that and have a good time, I think it's I still think it's a steal. But I do get that it's going from free to a charge, so that's a hurdle people have to get over.
I mean, people don't like change, and obviously they don't like change from free to paid, so I get it. And I should mention too, this Beer City tournament is going from July 8th till July 13th, and it's cool. I'm looking at their schedule right now. They have it listed which events are on which days. So if you're worried about, like, if your event's going to be on a weekday, they have that listed of what day each event's going to be on, just in case you are looking to sign up and wanted to know what day it's on. So, and then they have a lottery system now. I think the way that you got, I believe if the lottery system is the way you did it last year, where everyone signs up and then you kind of do a random draw of who gets to be locked in. I think that's a pretty good one. I know before they did a system where it's like first to sign up, but it's like, that kind of creates like whose computer isn't going to crash type of thing, and it's not the fairest system. So I like the way you're doing it now. I know in the past you could kind of like secure a spot if you went to the Amway Hotel. Is that still a thing this year? Can you secure a spot, or is it all lottery?
I think there will be some. Last year we did some giveaways or a little bit of a, hey, there's this and that. I would check social media for that.
Okay.
I don't want to promise things that aren't going to happen yet. I do think there will be some of that. Okay. But I would say Beer City Open on Instagram and Facebook, they will post some things like that as they come up.
Okay. Fair enough. And then anything else specifically about Beer City that people should know if they are interested in coming or playing?
Yeah, so I would say first, all the pros will stay, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them will stay right downtown at the Amway, and they have rooftop courts at that hotel. And so they get to warm up and practice there, because there's courts are being used constantly at Belknap. So that gives them a chance to hit around and practice. So if you stay at that hotel, you also can book time and play on the roof, which is really cool. You get to stay right downtown Grand Rapids. So that's another benefit, I think, of this tournament being where it is it's very conveniently located to where everything is. And I think it's cool to go watch. For me, watching the pros play matches is great. As somebody who wants to get better, watching them go through a warm-up, watching them go through an off day, watching them go through a drill session, some of them stay around and give lessons. I think that stuff is also hugely beneficial.
Okay. So I did see it said that the Amway hotel was not available this year due to like some event. Are the pros still staying there, or
you know what? I'll have to clarify that. I thought that was still the
yeah.
issue.
It said it's not available this year due to hosting a corporate conference, but you can still use the courts, and the courts are on the roof, right?
Yeah, they're on the roof.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so I don't know. They suggested the JW Marriott and the AC Hotel downtown Grand Rapids.
Gotcha. Okay,
that's why I was wondering because I know before you could lock in the spot with the Amway Hotel, but
okay, I'm not up to date then. But either way, the JW is right there.
Okay,
and you can. I think you don't even have to go outside. There's a walkway that connects the two, so it walks you right over to where the courts are.
Okay, so if you stayed at the Marriott, you would park at the Marriott and you could walk to the courts.
Oh, it's very close. There is a sky bridge that goes around part of the city that ends up leading into the Amway. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was just wondering for myself, and then is there a parking lot? Say you're driving from out of the town. Is there a parking lot for like players, fans? Is it separate? How does that work?
Yeah, so for players, the lot right there at Belknap, if you're playing that day, that's available to players and volunteers. For spectators, there's lots set up all around where the courts are, but not the main lot at Belknap. And I do think this year, if you pay for spectator access, then there will be then parking will be different for you. So we that's something that I think is still being worked through. But there's parking all around there. And there's also a very convenient shuttling and busing from downtown. If you happen to stay at the JW and you don't want to drive and park a car, it's very easy to get downtown, whether you take a Lime scooter or an Uber or there's a shuttle and a bus that runs through too.
Okay, so it's pretty easy to get around. Like it, I mean, I imagine the parking can get wild, but it sounds like you have quite a bit of parking and quite a bit of stuff up.
I would say as the tournament's grown, parking's become something that had to become more of an on the docket item to figure out, and so it's been I thought last year it got worked out pretty well, and we were pretty prepared for the volume that was coming in, and so it'll be kind of a similar system this year.
Okay, cool. Do you have other do you have music or live music going on during the tournament, or I guess is that too distracting for the players?
Yeah, I felt like there was a lot of activity. So first of all, like I said, we were handling the on-court music for championship court. So that was loud. I mean, you could hear that all through the park. There also was a DJ set up in the food trucks area and in sort of this vendor village area. So there was that music going on. They had people on stilts over there. Like it's quite an atmosphere. So there's no bands or anything like that, not like live music in that way, but there's constant music playing other than, in points, obviously during MLP, where they're telling us to cut things off. But the atmosphere is really cool. And so, lots of music, lots of energy, stilt walkers, all kinds of stuff like that, but no live bands.
Okay. Sounds fun. It sounds like a pickleball party atmosphere almost. And it sounds like a good time.
It is. You must know Tropical.
So I actually have not met him in person. I know he lives not too far away from me. I've talked to him a few times, just on Instagram. It seems like he's kind of went silent lately. I don't know if he's still even playing pickleball or making content, but did he MC there before?
He did. He did the last 2 years with us, and he does a great job with that too. So last year he was walking up into the owner's deck with a mic and talking to some of the owners and interviewing people. And so, what I can say about it is the atmosphere at BCO is really, really fun. Okay.
Do you want to share? Do you remember like the best joke you had while you were MCing? Like,
oh man,
I don't know if
I think maybe when we introduced the players, when I introduced the fives and we introduced Zane, I said, not only a great player, this guy right here is single-handedly the reason none of you can hit a chainsaw serve anymore in your 4-0 bracket. So
that's pretty funny.
I think he chuckled at it. So
I'm sure he probably found that the most amusing.
He might.
That's good. Yeah. And then we were talking pre-show about you. Were you MCing all day in the 90-degree weather? What ended up happening there?
So last year I had a pickleball wedding actually to go to. So I wasn't out there all the time. So Matt,
that's all the rage right now.
Yeah, me, Matt, and then Tori Much, who is my co-announcer on TPN a lot of the time. She helped with the MCing, and then also when I did the MLP broadcasts, then they would come on and do. So we shared that. 2 years ago, I think it was just me and Matt, and the year before that, it was just me and Matt as well. But he has a day job, so it ended up being a lot of me. It's hot every year. It will rain a little bit, and then you got to, take down the speakers, wrap them up, do this and that. And so what I was saying is that I've stopped playing in the tournament because I never do well. And I'm going to blame that on heat and having to work in addition to that, not my game. It can't possibly be my game and anything
you
that
got
I'm
too much going on. How could one man, juggle all that and win the tournament? Of course.
Yeah. I want that taken into account on my duper somehow. I want duper's algorithm to know that I was loading in amp equipment all week before and out in the heat. So so I stopped playing. So I think we were talking about how sometimes I think a lot of the local players have decided, you know what, I kind of like just hanging out and having a fat tire and watching MLP and watching my friends play rather than having this hang over my head of like, I can't have too much fun because I've got to play singles at 9 a.m. tomorrow.
No, I got my thought process was if I get in the lottery, or maybe there's a connection. I don't know. Maybe just kidding, but not kidding actually. But I'm like, hey, if we lose, because I plan on playing with David Yang, my co-host from a podcast. I'm like, hey, if we lose, we can just go drink more beer. It's not really a big deal. So if you go in with the right mindset, I feel like it's actually, maybe we'll do better that way. I don't know.
Although I'll say this, I want people to sign up.
Yeah.
And
Obviously, yeah.
Paul and Andrea want people to sign up. The after takedown, like after we're done for the day and everybody's gone and us crew is still there and we've just put everything away, and now there's 30 minutes before we all try to go to sleep, we can play a quick rec game. Those are some fun games. So if you don't get into the lottery, you and Dave can play me and I'll grab somebody and we'll just play after all the stuff's packed up.
All right. Sounds good. I'll hold you to that. How many courts are there?
There are, gosh, I should know this. My Belknap brethren are gonna kill me for not knowing this now. We're into the. I think we're in the low 20s now. They keep adding more courts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 20-ish. The number's changing daily. He can't keep track if you.
I'm gonna look it up just so that I don't embarrass.
No, I was
myself.
wondering, and it does look like I was reading the information that there is an indoor backup option, which I think is awesome because I've been to quite a few tournaments that get the rain, and sometimes it stops raining, sometimes it doesn't. But y'all just end up sitting around for the day, and then maybe you don't get to play, maybe you do, or it's abbreviated. So it's awesome that you have a indoor backup option. So especially for the people traveling, you're not going to end up wasting your time, and not be able to play. Or am I wrong?
Did I lose you?
Yeah,
now
we
I'm
lost
back.
connection. All right,
Okay.
We're back.
I'm here. Yep.
Okay. So did you track down that court? How many?
Yes, 21.
Yeah, we're talking about the backup.
21. So I was
21. Okay, pretty good.
Yeah. So I got it right mostly. Yes, there is an indoor backup option. There's several. I mean, it's dead of winter here in Michigan right now, so we're playing indoor all the time. So 2 years ago or 3 years ago, the men's singles gold medal match got moved inside, and there were no spectators. So Andrea streamed Ignatowicz and Zane for the gold medal on her phone. But it is great to have that.
Yeah,
and
better than nothing.
Year, there was an entire day of MLP because I was on that broadcast. Entire day of MLP at All In, which is where you're watching those broadcasts.
Yeah.
We played an entire round of MLP inside at All In. So it's great to have that backup for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about over there, but I'm sure it's the same. Like in the last year and a half, there's been so many facilities popping up. I mean, as you said, like in Michigan, you just have to have these indoor facilities. The weather's just so bad for so long. And yeah, I think we might be catching up to you guys in facilities and quality now too. I think we might be passing Grand Rapids in Southeast Michigan.
We've got more coming though. They keep adding more. Every department store that closes is another threat to be turned into a pickleball facility. So I know
you got Joanne's closing now, so some more opportunity.
Exactly. Every Burlington coat factory and Joanne's and all of those. I know a Yonkers in Holland is being turned into a pickleball facility. So maybe you'll temporarily take the lead, but we're not going to fall far behind.
I can't even keep up with how many facilities are opening lately. So it's fine by me. Like the more the merrier. I know at some point we're gonna kind of reach a point where it might be too many, but for now, the more the merrier.
They're always booked here. Probably like that there too. It's like
they are all busy. So yeah. You can't. It's hard to unless you're looking like middle of the weekday on the weekend. You're not getting a court. You're not getting a court here. Unless you signed up ahead of time.
Our All In even has 2 skinny singles courts and like a dinking court, and you can get a ball machine and just have it spit balls on you on a skinny singles court. And Wednesday in the middle of the day, I tried to just go do that, and it was in use. So that is the tiny little court, and the ball machine's booked now. So it's great to see, but I don't think we've reached a point of saturation. So, fortunately, all of this unused space of retail
it's great that it has getting repurposed with people that want to use it, so I'm all for it. But I don't think I have any other questions. I feel like we covered Beer City pretty well, and I will be there. David's going to be there. Allen's going to be there. David and I plan on making some content while we're there. I'm not sure exactly what we want to do yet. I'm still in the early stages, but I think there's a lot of opportunity to make some different type of stuff, just the player experience, the behind the scenes, if we can talk to the pros and how they feel about it. I always hear good things from the pros, like saying that, Beer City is one of their favorite tournaments. So I definitely want to capture all that I can.
I have something on that. So I would
Go
say,
ahead.
like, now, because of the way pickleball has grown, I think the experience for the pro players is much different. Several
Than
years
it was
ago,
before?
yeah, they're
Okay.
being accommodated better now than ever
Okay.
before. For a while, that wasn't the case. And I think with Andrea being part of this tournament, she always prioritized what the experience is like for pro players. I mean, at the start, a lot of the club members were hosting the pros. They were sleeping in our
Gotcha.
guest rooms and such. And then she was able to strike a deal with AHC Hospitality. That's when you started. So for the pros at that point, being put up in that hotel was far, I think, beyond what they got at most tournaments. It was sort of a couch surfing type
Gotcha.
situation. And so I think that's where the tournament built its name and reputation with the pros, is that the hospitality was so great. Not just from the accommodations, but we had volunteers that were on, just like you're assigned to make sure the pros are taken care of once they're at the courts. So
Okay.
yeah, and that continues, because I know,
Yeah.
friends of mine were in charge of hospitality last year. Now they're across the street in like a building so they can watch matches and not be outside in the heat and wait for
Okay.
their turn to walk over. And so I think because of Andrea's involvement, the care placed on the pro experience has been there far before pickleball exploded at the pro level.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, that I didn't think about that, but it makes sense that she was like extra focused on the pro player experience, being a pro herself. So that's cool. But now I guess you're saying now maybe some of those other stops have caught up to the excellent experiences. So maybe it's not as different, but still I'm sure there's a little extra special touch, because this one's kind of a interesting tournament, because this one was a standalone and now it's kind of like picked up by professional pickleball, whereas before, I guess, like most of the other ones, PPA kind of made their own, but this one was just so good it had to be a stop for them.
Yeah, it was independent, and then it was APP, and then it was independent for one sort of transition year, and then
Mhm.
it was, that was an interesting year because there wasn't like a contractual obligation for anyone to be here, and a lot of
Yeah.
the pros came anyway, I think, because of Andrea and because
Yeah.
of their previous experiences, and then now it's MLP.
That's cool. That's cool. You guys have been able to keep it running, through any, change or everything going on. You've been able to keep it going strong. And everyone that I've talked to locally, it's their favorite tournament of the year. They keep going back, whether they just go to spectate or they go to play. And obviously, you don't have any trouble getting people to sign up, because I see the bracket's always extra full for that lottery. So. And I think that lottery starts, or the sign up starts, what was it, April 10th? Now I lost it.
Hold on, yeah. I should know this too. Clearly, I wasn't fully prepared to answer all of
Oh,
the
it's all good.
individual
Registration,
questions.
I can
Yeah.
find it really quick. It opens at April 10th at 10 a.m. and it will go till April 13th at 11:55 p.m. And then it will be released on April 21st, and find out
So,
if you're lucky or not. So
yep, Beer City Open on Instagram. That's where a lot of those updates will get posted, along with giveaways and things. And so, yeah, be on the lookout for that. But $15, I'm telling you again, $15 is a steal. I'm a bad salesman. I would not tell people to. I'm not selling anybody any snake oil. It really is
Yeah.
a steal. It's a really great spectator experience.
I think 15 for the whole day. You get to go watch the pros. I don't think you can really complain about that. That is a really good price. Like, you guys could have easily, charged more, but I'm sure, Andrea and the whole team, they wanted to make sure it was an affordable price, but help support the tournament. And I know you guys have done a lot. You do a lot of like court construction around the city too, right? So it's not like this tournament is not doing anything. It's helping promote pickleball. It's helping grow pickleball in Grand Rapids. So I think it's awesome what everyone's at Beer City's been doing, and can't wait to come check it out this year. If you don't have anything else, I don't have anything else. I appreciate you being here, taking the time out of your schedule to do this interview, and I hope to hope to meet you in person soon.
Yeah,
Hopefully at Beer City, if not sooner.
hopefully so, and hopefully we'll get to hit a few too that week.
All right. Thank you, Alan. Thanks for joining us.